Hey, it's Mark Wallace, and we've got a lot of questions on how we design the sets that we're going to be using for the Digital Photography One-on-One series and some of the other sets we're doing with the new Adorama TV videos that we're producing. So all of the sets were actually created in Google SketchUp. It's a free program you can get online. Just Google SketchUp, and you'll get there. All these designs were created by a guy named Davy Fisher at Haven Productions, and he created this stuff. And when we showed you yesterday this design for the main Digital Photography One-on-One set, you probably couldn't tell that these boards right here, they're actually triangles. And so if I rotate this, and we're going to let you see real fast on this screen, and zoom in, you'll see that these are actually, they're wedges. And so today I'm going to be working on those wedges, and it's going to be quite a process. So let me... All right, so what I'm doing now is using a laser to exactly calculate the length of these boards, and we have to cut 20 of these exactly right, which I don't know if you've ever done that before, but it's a big pain in the rumpus. But that's the design that Davy Fisher came up with, and that's what I'm going to stick to, even though it's a really, really painful, slow, and tedious process. I still enjoy doing it. Yeah, it's really no fun cutting these wedges. But that's what Davy wanted, and what Davy wants, that's what Davy gets, all right? So I don't care if it's 2 feet and 3/8 of an inch or 2 feet exactly, but whatever Davy wants, because he's the designer, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so we took those long boards that we glued up, and we cut them. These have been cut and squared at exactly 2 feet 3/8 of an inch. And so it took a little bit of time to get those exactly right, but we have a bunch of them right here. Now what we're going to do next is I have to take this, and this is actually 2 of the wedges, and we have to cut this exactly in a diagonal between these. So one half will be one wedge, the other half will be another wedge. Problem is this piece of wood is 5 inches thick, and we don't have a saw that will cut through this. So I'm having to create what's called a jig on the table saw so that we can cut this exactly straight. So let me show you that really quickly. Now I'm not a carpenter, so I can't wait to see how many people write in and tell me a better way to do this after it's all done. But this is the best way I know how to do it. I'm creating a jig, and if you look right down the center of this, you'll see that this is one of the wedges, half of one of those pieces of wood. And what I did was I squared this up on the jig on the bottom, or on the top actually, flipped it over and lined another piece. So that what happens is this table saw will cut about half of this. So we'll use one of these jigs, and it will slide exactly on this, this rib guide right here. Keep this straight. This wood will sit inside of it, and it'll cut halfway through. Then we'll flip it over and run it on the other side of the blade, and because these are squared perfectly, it will cut down the same line, and we'll have a perfectly cut wedge.
What happened? It didn't go all the way through.
Davy, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, Davy's there. Okay, you're on speakerphone.
Awesome.
Okay, so here's the deal. We have the, I glued a bunch of wood, and we cut them in 2 foot by 2 3/8 inch, 2 feet 3/8 of an inch, exactly as the plan called. The problem is the wood is 5 inches thick on the long side, which is the side I have to cut. And I don't own a saw that will cut through 5 inches.
Right.
Yeah, I know. You're going to tell me to go get the handsaw.
I am going to try to tell you not to get a handsaw because that will just not be fun.
No, it's not
I
fun.
know these things are not already fun.
Okay, so I just called Davy, and we both had the same idea, which is we had a couple of options. One was to make this 4 inches instead of 5 inches. We didn't like that option because it makes the set look a little bit off balance. The option number 2 was to cut these diagonals by hand using an old saw. That would take forever, and it wouldn't be very accurate, even with some kind of miter box. So we're going to go with the third option, which is to stay with this plan of cutting each side, and then we're going to take the old hand saw And we're just going to cut, there's about, you can see right there, about 1/4 of an inch left to cut. And so I'm going to cut that piece just with the handsaw. So I'll stick a handsaw in there and just cut that 1/4 inch. All right, so we've got our saw, and now I'm going to cut this and see how far off we are. We do need some interns at Snap Factory, by the way. The good news is I still have all my fingers, all of them. Sawed. I present to you 2 wedges that need a little sanding. All right, so obviously we have some kinks to work out. We're working on them. And we'll get back to you. Okay, well, we have our first 2 wedges cut, and it was a pretty long process. But now that it's all, the process is all figured out, we know the workflow, we know how to cut them and get them all aligned, it'll be great. So we're going to cut 18 more of these, and they will go equally spaced, something like this, all up and down the sides. They'll be anchored from behind. So that's what will be the border of this set, and then we'll have the birch on the bottom and the top. And this is going to look pretty darn cool. So we have a bunch more cutting to do. Probably start doing that tomorrow because this took us a little longer than we thought. But hopefully in about a day, we'll have all these wedges up, the birch on the top and the bottom, and maybe even the HDTV up there. And this set will be done and in the can. That'll be cool. All right, there you have it. Watch our blog for stills and all kinds of more information on how we built this stuff, and stay tuned for more info.